So I'm re-recording this because I just recorded it and it wasn't recording. So that's fun. But welcome back to my channel. I am making a chai tea fragrance soap and I am doing the heat transfer method. Instead of separating the soft oils from the butters and hard oils, I just put them all in one container and I don't have any issues with it overheating by doing that. And now I'm going to be adding some coconut milk. I used 5 ounces of water and 2 ounces of coconut milk for my 2-pound batch. So I did a water discount with my lye solution, and then this is just like an added liquid fat situation. And now I'm going to be adding sodium lactate because I found that these fragrance oils I've been getting have been leaving my soap pretty tacky and sticky. And it's almost like every fragrance oil I've been getting lately does that. And it's really annoying because this batch, unfragranced, is perfect. It cuts nice, it hardens up quickly. I don't have any issues with it, but for some reason my last few batches have been on the stickier side, so it takes like over a week for me to be able to even try to clean the bars up. It's just a mess trying to plane a bar of soap that's not ready to be planed. And I'm just getting it to a light emulsion. It doesn't need to be at a trace or anything. Alright, and this is the fragrance oil, Nature's Garden Chai Tea. It does turn the soap batter a little yellow, and the end result comes out off-white, even with titanium dioxide. But it's not so dark that it would like interfere with bright colors or anything. And it didn't speed up the oh my goodness, what's it called? The batter. I don't know. It didn't thicken it up too quickly. I was able to work with it just fine. So those are 2 8-ounce pitchers. And then I have a third one that is 16 ounces for my 2-pound batch here. And I'm going to be doing a layered soap today. So the first one is a dark brown. All of my colorants are from Soapbox Micas, but they are no longer in business. She sold her supplies to another seller. I cannot remember the name, but if you know, let me know down below so that everybody else can know. And I am trying to just stir it in because I don't know how this fragrance oil does with stick blending, so I don't want to stick blend too much. So I'm first trying to see how thick it gets and how quick it, goes to trace and all of that. So, I'm just taking it slow here at first. So I got my little frother thing out, my mini blender. And I'm just thickening up the soap batter so that the first layer of soap sets up nicely so that I can put layers on top of it without breaking through. And this mica has a nice shimmer to it. It's very pretty. And as you can see, it's still quite liquidy. But when it starts to sit for like a minute, it thickens up a lot quicker. now when you're actually working with it and moving it around, it stays pretty fluid. But yeah, the second you let it sit, it'll start setting up. But it's still workable. You could do swirls if you wanted to. It would be really good fragrance oil for in the pot swirls if you wanted them to stay nice and separate, the colors. It'd be really great. So this is going to be a mica line. And I just wanted to do a gold mica line just to add a little bit of pizzazz. And you'll be able to see that it's still liquidy when I try to move it, and that made me quite nervous. What are you doing, buddy?
I help.
You need help?
That's a backpack.
His backpack? You need buckled? My son's trying to put on a little backpack, and he put it on backwards. Here you go, buddy. And for my second layer, I'm using more of a milk chocolate color. It's really, really pretty. Here you go. I wanted to keep this soap really neutral, so that it wasn't like too vibrant or girly or too masculine. I wanted it to be just a nice neutral soap so that everybody can enjoy this fragrance. And again, you can see that it's starting to thicken up a little bit more than that first layer. You got it, buddy? But still plenty workable. And I just took that spoon there and I bent it so that it could get down into my mold, because it's very difficult to get any kind of spoon down into one of these small 2-pound molds. My mold is from Workshop Heritage, if you're wondering. Here you go. I had to buckle my son into his little book bag. It buckles like a chest clip so it doesn't fall off their shoulders. Alright, so I'm going to do another mica line. I should have done this a little thicker, but I was getting impatient and the soap was setting up pretty quick. So I was trying just to get it done as quick as I could, because I knew that last layer was going to need titanium dioxide in it, and I didn't want it to turn into soap on a stick. So here's the last layer, and that is my titanium dioxide there in that mason jar. And I should have dispersed it ahead of time, but I didn't. And that's okay, it ends up okay. You have to know how to manipulate the soap in certain circumstances. And that's something that you learn to do through many mistakes of soap making. And you just kind of have to understand that there's going to be batches that don't turn out right. And some of them will be complete messes. And that's okay. That's all part of soap making. Nobody's perfect. And things happen. So, knowing how thick the batter was, I knew that there was probably titanium dioxide pieces stuck in there. So I had to get out the stick blender. I didn't want to, but I had to. It helps brighten the titanium dioxide up a little bit more. And it helps disperse the chunks throughout the soap a little bit better. And see how it kind of got more fluid as I manipulated it, but it sets up pretty quick after. My phone just got a notification, so if you hear that in the recording, that's what that noise was. Alright, I scraped out my container and topped it off, and now I'm just going to level the top by just swirling it with my little pipette. I was considering doing a mica swirl or little glitter or something, but I thought, you know what, I'm going to keep it just creamy and leave it at that, keep it simple. And here is the picture of the top. Nothing wild, no crazy designs, and that's okay. Sometimes a simple soap is a good soap. About 24 hours later, you could see the titanium dioxide layer is off-white still, which is fine. That's nothing bad. You could still use vibrant colorants with this fragrance oil and it would still turn out perfectly fine. And you could see I could have done a bit thicker of a line of the mica between the cream layer and the light brown layer, but I think it turned out fine. This is my first time using this fragrance oil, so I think it behaved beautifully, and I would definitely recommend it. Now, I have had the issues of the fragrance oils lately have been leaving my soaps a little tackier and stickier, even with my sodium lactate added. My base recipe works wonderfully as a unscented bar, but for some reason, when I add fragrance to it, it just makes it a bit more tacky and it takes longer to set up. But I will plain and bevel them in about a week, but here is the bar. And thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.